Good afternoon, friends. This is again in continuation to my desire, to my inclination, to my passion, that the knowledge which has been garnered, how people are hampering this knowledge, how old grant bungalows can be proved very easily now that they were actually old grant, they were revenue free grants, but never converted into a new grant. If we were a grant of anything after 1793, it meant we are a new grant. So, if we are a grant under the GGO 1793, which was passed parallelly to the civil laws of the Governor Generals, bifurcated to the cantonment or the army regulations, so we are not an old grant, we are a new grant then. Now today I will say what really happened in 2015, which gave me shivers after this convention of twilight. You know, my pedestal, I think, was not liked by my working president or by my vice president sitting on west, east, south or north, and especially central Agra, I would say. I remember there was a rumor passed out about me that Mr. Das is only looking for compensation. He's not looking to prove old GBs into freehold or doesn't put his case forward to the ministry to get these OGBs as freeholder ownership rights. If we have already got ownership rights, why will I go back to the government and say, please give us what we already hold? These uneducated people can go, whether it is Paddy, Maddie or anybody. I am not concerned about them. Today I will say what really happened. What really, I remembered, when we were organizing the state sitting on the second day of the convention, my vice president from Agra put in a hue and cry of making it sure that he is made to sit on the stage. Otherwise, he says, I am boycotting the convention. So, are we there to sit on chair? I asked him, I'll leave these dais. So what? I'll sit down below with my working president. I hands off to my working president, to Mr. Syal from Jalandhar. They all sat down. I wanted the first lady member of this, who's no more Dr. Mrs. Jalnawala, to be on the stage. But just look at the travesty. These are the people who actually started, I didn't realize, because at that time my entire energy was deviated to the research and getting the association to a pedestal. So 2012-13 I reached a pedestal where, okay, fine, we have about 700-800 people known to us. We are spread all over the cantonments in 57. Everybody in the department knows us. We made a complete projection seminar in the DG's office with 3 incumbent DGs who have retired now. I have those videos. So what did we talk? We just talked law. We didn't talk for a cup of tea. We didn't talk for a samosa or to have a pedestal sitting there. There were Rajya Sabha members, there were Union of India ministers who were walking down with me to the defense minister or the defense secretary. I didn't look for a cup of tea and photograph. I would be surprised, I've never clicked a photograph in South Block. And today, you'll be surprised, you are seeing photographs of the new teams and the new association. We met the defense minister, can I share it? I met Rao Inder Singh in the parliament, I met Mr. Parikar. I created and sat down with them that why can't in 1957 policy be done into freehold for bungalow owners? But this is not a show where you need to be clicked and photographed. Ask these same people to come up and fight for you. They'll never stand against a DO. They will never come if there has to be an agitation in the cantonment. They are the last sitters of those chairs, They believe, Mr. Das, we don't want to make our face public. We don't want to come in the light of the army that tomorrow our bungalow is targeted. Now 2012-13, I remember this bungalow owner from Agra, his bungalow was finally being resumed. So the army had put up and pasted a notice that it will be done measurements. I remember from 9:30 to 12, my mobile was not switched off and I was talking to this man. Finally, when I convinced the colonel who had come for measurement, He left without doing measurement. That is the time when I was allowed to leave my telephone, my mobile number and live in peace. And these are the same people. Today, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru or Indira Gandhi or maybe Rajiv Gandhi or maybe VP Singh, or I may go back to Sarojini Naidu, let's go to A.K. Hume, who created Congress, have been having dinner at their houses. What difference does it make to me? I am a small man, people. I have nobody to stand at my back. I have worked hard with a passion for cantonments. So these are the people who actually started playing the trouble game in 2013. So they actually wanted to take this association now. So the tool used was my working president, because he was the weakest stump in our team, and those 5 people who could have been very easily churned. We had a meeting in Sarant Club, I remember. Finally, we decided, okay, if Mr. Working President becomes the president, but the association remains in Ambala, I am ready to relinquish my post. So, what difference would have it made had I not been the president of this association? Nothing. Something is in my brain, something which I have read. I agree Mr. A has also read, Mr. D has also read. But are they willing to impart? No, they give free advice. Free advice is something when you go to a restaurant and you read that there is free lunch today. So you can't ask them to serve you what you want to eat. Free lunch is lying on table, whether you like that recipe or not, or whether you like that food is your headache. So free lunches come in this format. It's very easy to say I'll give free advices, but call me when I'm free. When are you free? You know, I'm doing business, I'm making money, so call me in the evening if I'll see if I'm free then. How can you, are you trying to make a mockery of that bungalow owner who's tremoring because of his resumption notice or of his measurements or of his PP Act or anything on him, hanging? I know what happened with me when I got the 2003 notice from Aicboa. Rajkumar ji made me sit outside the Cantonment Board office. He was meeting Mr. Jassal inside, and 45 minutes he made me sit like a chaprasi outside. I know what went through me. I don't want that to happen. So that is why I said I'll be there for everybody. And I was. 3 hours I didn't cut this telephone number of the Agra bungalow owner. Same thing happened. There's a bungalow owner in Allahabad, Mr. Wal. He picked out a relation with me because of his resumption notice, and I drafted a resumption notice for him. Asked him, did he pay me a penny for it? He's alive today, his sons are there. No. Nobody pays. Mr. A from Agra didn't pay when I gave the full advice under law to the colonels who had come for measurements of the half OGB which he has purchased. The other half is with somebody else. Similarly in Pune, my biggest support, I don't hesitate in taking his name, Mr. Bhojwani, 5 Stalway Road, said, Mr. Das, I have symbolic possession, but I can't park my cars, I can't use this area, my school buses have to be stand. I read his case. It was more than 1,000 pages. It's yet with me in my records. I didn't charge a penny to him. I told him how symbolic possession can be converted into physical possession. Similarly in Barakpur, again a vice president of mine, Mr. Akai, he just wanted, Mr. Das, read my High Court case, read my purchase deed, read my this, read my that, and then give me an advice, how can my mutation take place? Half of the bungalow was converted into lease, half of the bungalow was in OGB. Just imagine, not a penny. I gave all his High Court advocates as much what I could give, but there was a lacuna in that. The High Court had remanded back the case to the CO, Barakpur, for mutation. Now it was the same story. Go by the process, give your admission deed, give this. what question and answer I get? Mr. Das, after so much of effort, we've come back square one. At least we put in efforts. That is where I feel bad. My working president, all his plaints, all his replies in the courts, anything which had to be done used to be done by me on my computer. We used to sit down, draft things, then go to the advocate, soothe, then do things on. I was not charging any money because we were wanting to get this association in place. So I was wanting to support all these people from my selfish motive, let's say. What was my selfish motive? That Mr. A's bungalow will become mine or Mr. C's bungalow will become mine. No, yaar. Let's not talk this fancier situation which was happening and which now people talk that Ronnie ji, you've done this research for money. Oh, bullshit, yaar. All these advocates and doctors are sitting for what? They don't do charity, yaar. Even an advocate in Supreme Court, there is a board written in outside his office. Consultancy per hour 40,000 rupees. Pay it in advance. What do you get? The highest Attorney General of India for the 2015 case of Shillong. What has happened? Lost. Anybody richer than Mr. Anklesha? What I have been told by Pune people. One from the High Court, Bombay High Court. Supreme Court, lost. Why? We have P.T. Anklesha judgment. We have Purushottam Das Tandon judgment. Yaar, come on, grow up, people, grow up. Don't just put, just don't try and put fingers towards me. The three are pointing back towards you either. A bungalow owner, ardent fan of mine. Ronnie ji in board meetings used to get up. Ronnie ji chale jayenge, to association mar jayegi. Mr. Kela from Jhansi. Just imagine that man today talks shit about me. On a telephone call, he says, Ronnie ji, I don't need you. Don't ever try and call me back also. What did he do? Bungalow owners in Jhansi told me, got a resumption notice drafted by me, reply, and then he sold it to people there. When you do it is right, when Ronnie ji says, I'm not going to take the legal cell free, or there are no free lunches in Ronnie's dictionary, oh, Ronnie ji is making money. 2006, the act had changed. 2012, 8 was the first my case. And then in 10-11, there were so many notices of section 244. Everybody used to call, Ronnie ji, how to fight. Can you imagine? We took that judgment from the lower court on a House Accommodation Act. I know how we took it. How much of expenses, how much of hard work me and Rishi had to put. Down the line, 7 people got it in Ambala by copying cat my judgment. My advocate also, he copy pasted my plaint and all the 7 bungalows were pasted. Bungalow number 100, 101 and some other 109. All plaints pasted on my plaint. And finally you get a stay because you got it in Ronnie's case, 102. So the advocate makes money and the bungalow owner sits and sleeps. I'm opening up, I'm peeling off. I know I'm peeling off. It may be hurting who will watch these videos of mine. A bungalow owner reached me, Ronnie ji, I have mortgaged my property. He entered my bungalow, I remember 2002, in a Mercedes from Amritsar. I got his bungalow chronologically by his digging out of his sale deeds. Freehold written by the DC Amritsar. Where is he today? Nowhere. Disputes, Ronji can't meet you, lame excuses. Everybody, Kasoli, the place where we started off from, we made him realize everything that he can run his commercial activity which he was running as a hotel in his bungalow. Simultaneously, there was a resumption case going in the High Court. We supported Vikas. But today, his brother, he's got some issues with me. The case has been remanded back. Brothers, chachas are fighting. One says he doesn't like my face. The other chacha says Ronnie ji is asking for money. Yaar, nothing comes free. Today the case has been on a cyanide situation. You'll be surprised. The DO is reaching the court and the bungalow owners, I don't know what they are doing. And can you imagine, they don't talk to me today. His brother in Kasoli is not willing to take my phone. A bungalow owner who'd been in touch with me, a very senior educationist, Landor, OGB resumed, kept telling him, Nainital judgment will not be good, it's a suit for permanent injunction. No, Mr. Das, I trust God. He was an honest man. But when he finally one day I got a news in I think 2011 or something that Mr. So-and-so is no more and his daughters were there. I was stunned to see his evidence. They worked hard with me. I tried to take their case to a level in Supreme Court. But facts are those what you pleaded in the lower court. I couldn't overdo those pleadings. So all my desire with the advocate was that let's get this case remanded back. I had all the things in place. But can you imagine, the bungalow owner was not, I don't know, should I say this also either, but somewhere there was something going behind my back. There was another bungalow owner in the same cantonment who done a lot of wrong things in the cantonment. So all my research books were siphoned off, like not like this, but like this. I felt hurt when finally the lady lost. I yet said, let's put an application for compensation. First order in the history of cantonment, that compensation has to be paid in 6 months. I only used to charge my expenses of travels and everything. The money which had to flow into me after all my case fights, the lady can put her hand on her heart if she's watching my video. Has she paid me out or not? I've got her compensation evaluated. I've got her commercial activity 244 notice quashed. What else does she need? It was a fine of more than 7 to 8 crores. People, are very selfish. They don't realize this crusade which I'm trying to run. Yes, I'm selfish, but I'm selfish for who? Myself. What have people given me? 15 years down the line, my kids say, Dad, you've given 10 years of your life to this research. Every day you're reading, specs have grown. Laptops, office, studio, YouTube. Look at the amount of expenditure you do. Put your heart who's watching my video. How many people have paid me for my Zoom classes or YouTube classes? Nobody. And then I like at the back of me how people talk. I'm hurt. You feel bad. Similarly, a Meerut bungalow owner, Mr. Agarwal, Mr. Das, just give me a GLR where it is written that there is a freehold property. Rest I'll do. What will you do? His whole bungalow has got demolished. Yet doesn't want to listen to me. So please, with folded hands, don't try and make mistakes or don't try and put the mistakes on me. We're all in one pool, one spool of life. Let's get together. Let's get united. Thank you. Bye-bye.